Welcome to your Friday, December 19th, new moon in Sagittarius astrology horoscope. Not only do we have the new moon today signifying new beginnings, we also have cosmically aligned the three-eye atlas flying closest to the earth that it has. It will be passing by the earth today, and I can't seem to dismiss the synchronicities in that. Although life may seem a little bit chaotic, a little bit scary, whatever you may be feeling with it right now, at the very same time, it is so exciting, so full of potential. And I just see this as a beautiful turning point that is going to be changing the trajectory of your individual life and our lives collectively. The moments in time that we are going through from now and really all of 2025, but now especially with Three-Eye Atlas, I believe is really changing the trajectory of our future. So a little bit about me before we just dive right in. I'm Sarah at Life with Training Wheels, where I utilize a Western Tropical Zodiac astrology, whole sign house system, and other tools to help guide you on your journey of self-discovery and self-empowerment. My goal is to help you realize that life really is a choose-your-own adventure. You have more control over your life and your thoughts than you think you do, and we really do make this world our reality. One of my favorite quotes is, "Wherever you go, there you are." So if you keep finding yourself in certain situations, good or bad, it may be a time to look into the mirror. If that sounds like something you want to stick around for, a vibe that you can vibe with, then I encourage you to stick around. If this is your first time finding me, thank you for joining me, and I hope you'll stay. If you are returning, thank you so much for returning. Either way, if you could go ahead and engage with this video in some way, like, subscribe, comment, anything like that, it will help my tiny channel grow, and I greatly appreciate it. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we dive into the astrology this month. I do currently have a Your First Astrology course going on right now. It is a 6-week course. I have released the first week video. I am working on editing the second week's video. But basically, I take you from zero, from not knowing how to pull up a birth chart, and walking you through that, and walking you through a couple astrology tools that I use that are free to use, and then explain, the setup of a birth chart, the chart layout, the house system. We'll get into the signs and the planets and understanding your big three, your rising sign, your sun sign, and your moon sign. And then finally learning how to take horoscopes like the ones I give here and like many other astrologers give, and how to take your natal chart and really see more layers of how the energy is interacting with your chart on a more personal level. So that course is going on now. It is delivered via email, and you can ask any questions after each week is delivered, each video is delivered, and I really want to make this course yours, so I would love to have you join me. The information for that is in the description box below. I also am starting up a Patreon membership that would be basically a getting to know yourself monthly membership, where I will teach an astrology topic, teach something about the natal chart and how to read it every month. So not only will it be a learning astrology, but then learning about yourself, because I will teach on a topic and then give a 20-minute personal astrology reading for each person in the course or in the Patreon membership each month according to whatever topic we are discussing that month. So it's like a monthly learning astrology and learning yourself better through astrology membership. If you're interested in joining, the link will be in the description box below for that as well. And although this was a Black Friday deal, I am going to extend it through the month of December, where I will give $25 off of any service I offer on my website if you sign up for my newsletter. I have not really started sending out my new newsletters yet, but I do plan on sending out like weekly astrology, weekly horoscopes, as well as anything else going on any of my YouTube channels or anything else that I feel might be of value or interest to you. It would only be going out weekly at max, perhaps monthly to start. But if you would like to sign up for that, please do so in the description box below. I would love to have you join my newsletter. Now let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so now let's dive right in. First, if you've watched my videos before, you know before I really dive into the specifics of this new moon, I like to kind of take a step back and explain what new or full moons are and kind of just build layer by layer to get the full picture of what we're talking about. So new moons, which is what this one is when the sun and the moon are aligned in the sky. And this is kind of, they say new moons are times of new beginnings, new opportunities, new things coming into your life, a time to plant new seeds of intention and, set goals and things like that. And this is cosmically aligned because the sun represents our like ego and our drive and what we're here to do and accomplish and learn and grow into, right? It is basically where our mind is focused. And then the moon is more our emotional center. It is where we feel things. It is where we kind of default to. It is our comfort zone. So when we have our mind and our emotions lined up, everything is just flowing well. We're all aligned internally. We're not feeling split in too many different directions. We have a goal or have something in mind that we want to go after that everything is aligned with. So that is why it is the perfect time to plant seeds of new beginnings, new intentions, have goals, and when the universe itself is planting seeds for us. And then we look to see what sign it is in to get a flavor of this particular new moon. So this particular new moon is Sagittarius. So what is Sagittarius all about? Sagittarius is the sign of adventure and exploration and foreign lands and people. It is, the symbol of it is the centaur, or however you say it, with the guy on it, shooting the arrow. So it is the sign of also, right, looking ahead, aiming for our future, aiming for our goals, thinking bigger, seeing long term. It is the sign that represents like higher education, higher learning, higher knowledge, wisdom, like spiritual teachers. It's overall our belief systems, whether that be religious belief systems, political belief systems, whatever it is the sign of belief and religion and things like that. So this new moon will have a flair for that, for higher thought, higher knowledge, finding teachers, adventure, looking forward, looking to the future, the bigger community, foreign lands, foreign people. It'll have a flare, belief systems, deep belief systems. So this new moon will have a big flare for all of those things. How it's hitting you personally in your life not only depends on which area of life those themes are active for you, as well as where Sagittarius falls in your natal chart. But overall, as a collective, it will mean we are having new beginnings in this belief system, in faraway places, new beginnings, new opportunities with faraway places, new teachers, things like that. So it is really exciting, really beautiful, and I'm so excited to dive further into this with you. So now what I'm going to do, now that we have kind of the big picture, there's a new moon in Sagittarius every year, but what makes each new moon individual and unique is the conversations that the moon and the sun are having with the other planets at the time of the new moon and the new moon's position. So we are going to talk about all of that right now. Okay, so now I have the chart for this new moon up on the screen. So we have the sun and the moon here together at 28 degrees of Sagittarius. So if you have any planets in the later degrees of Sagittarius, you definitely are going to be feeling this stronger than others, as well as if you have any planets that would be in square to these. So if you have any planets in your natal chart in the later degrees of Pisces, Gemini, or Virgo, you may be feeling this a little more strongly than other people will as well. So let's get into the conversations that this new moon is having. So it's at 28 degrees of Sagittarius, and it is conjunct here with Venus. So Venus is the planet of love, relationships, and money and beauty, right? So that gives this new moon a flare of all of those things in the sign of Sagittarius. So perhaps this new moon is bringing new financial opportunities, new relationship opportunities, or perhaps it's just bringing new levels of awareness, of compassion and understanding and beauty to life and to the world, right? Perhaps it's bringing new ways of seeing the world and kind of this attitude of gratitude, like being able to witness the beauty that maybe you didn't see was there before. Those types of things could be added to the flare of this new moon, or new financial opportunities to teach somebody something, or new financial opportunities to attend a higher education, attend some type of schooling that you have been wanting to do, or meeting the right teacher or mentor. Or perhaps since Venus is about love and relationships, maybe this is just bringing a new awareness to us and, Sagittarius's belief systems. Maybe this is just bringing us new opportunities, new awareness that love is the answer, right? Love versus fear, always choose love. Love and fear cannot really exist in the same space, and the best way that we heal everything on this planet is through love. Love is the way. And with it being belief systems, right? God is love. No matter what tradition you're looking at, no matter, what religion you're looking at, it all boils down to that God is love, that the universe is love, that is the answer. And maybe we just are starting to become awakened to that, and starting to, with this new moon, starting to learn how to potentially embody that and just kind of have that click for us that is the universal answer. So that is kind of exciting to think about as well. Now, this is an out of sign conjunction with Mars here. Mars at 3 degrees of Capricorn, but it is close enough that I feel like it is giving some flavor and flair to this particular new moon. So I do want to talk about it and bring it in. So Mars is like our willpower, our motivation, our drive, our warrior spirit, right? And that warrior spirit doesn't have to be a negative thing or anything like that, right? It can be where we get out of control. It can be those more negative emotions, things like that. But for the most part, in its highest vibration, it is our motivation, our will, our desire to move forward with things, very forward moving. And in Capricorn is where we build things, right? Where we put in the hard work so that we can reap the rewards later. I think the saying everything good requires hard work is kind of a misnomer, and we've mistook that for, well, hard work means you need to hate it, right? Like, that's not necessarily what hard work means, but like to get the foods that we want to eat, right? Food is what nourishes us. Food is medicine. Food is all these things, but it takes hard work to get the food, right? Like, it's not easy work. It's stuff you have to put time into. And so Mars is in Capricorn here, giving us the motivation and the willpower and the drive to start building the things that we want to build, to start building the life and the society that we want to be a part of, building, individually how we want to show up in the world, what we need to do to take care of the things that we need to take care of. And then on a larger scale, how we collectively are going to build this better world that we all know we need to, right? And as a lot of systems are crumbling, we need to also at the same time be building. And it can sometimes get overwhelming to think about, well, everything is going to crap. So you kind of just want to give up. But this Mars is in Capricorn is giving us the motivation and the drive to, okay, yeah, things are crumbling, but we need to start replacing it now so everything doesn't go totally haywire. So we've got something in place to keep us grounded, to keep us steady, to keep us going. And that is kind of what this Mars in Capricorn is doing. So that in and of itself is helping us bring these new blessings, new beginnings, new opportunities kind of into physical reality, right? So those are the immediate conversations that this new moon is having. But then it is also in a square, the new moon and Venus, they're in square to Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, which are both direct now, moving the energy forward. And we've talked so much about these planets, right? These planets are at the final degrees of Pisces, which is the finishing of tearing down the old structures, tearing down the old belief systems, tearing down and bringing light and truth to all the ways that we have been deceived. This is the Saturn or the Neptune aspect in Pisces, right? We're letting go of all the disillusionment, all the ways that truth has been hidden from us. We are letting go of that. We are done with it. We want to find the truth. We are done being hoodwinked. We are done with the lies and the deception. And this squares are tension points. And with fire wants action. So Sagittarius wants action. So this square, the sun, the moon, and Venus are all bringing this tension point, this activation energy to make the changes that need to be made over here in this Neptune and Saturn. So to finish tearing down what needs to be tore down, because we have until January 26th when Neptune moves into Aries. That's how long we have to finish tearing down the systems in our personal lives as well as in society to really then start moving forward with rebuilding, right? So this is a tension point of finishing letting go of whatever we need to let go of, right? And with both of these, Sagittarius and Pisces, being kind of about belief systems and the higher realms, there's a lot of tearing down of those things that aren't working, tearing down of old dogma that we have been a part of, particularly since what I'm feeling is particularly religious dogma. You know, so much of our systems and so much of the world is really run on religious programming in one way, shape, or form, right? So to kind of let go of the dogma, to keep our minds open, to seek truth wherever the truth may come, and so, you know, how do we take action on that collectively? And then just how do we, you know, bring action to finding the truth and having the higher knowledge, the higher awareness that Sagittarius is bringing, as well as the forward thinking, right? Like wisdom. Yes, that is what I'm tapping into, is not only is Sagittarius forward thinking with the, you know, bow and arrow, but it also carries the wisdom of ancient things with it as well. It is also, you know, it's that higher knowledge, the higher education, the grand masters, things like that. That is the Sagittarius energy too. So I believe that a lot of these new beginnings with this love and financial opportunities and just the new beginnings of the new moon coming from Sagittarius are bringing perhaps this ancient wisdom of, well, how did we live before we started getting, you know, the wool pulled over our eyes? Like, how did we do it before? We can do it that same way again. And then, you know, having with Saturn here as well, okay, we're tearing down the old structures, but simultaneously building the new ones. So we're getting the wisdom to, at this new moon, to know what we need to finish tearing down and how to build something better. And with Venus being here, it is based in love and compassion and truth, abundance as well. The other little flavor that we have going on here is this trine to Chiron and Aries. It's a little bit of a wide trine with the new moon, but this Venus, since it is engaged with the new moon and engaged with this Chiron, therefore it is engaged overall with this new moon energy. So this is, you know, Venus trining Chiron is a really beautiful energy. Chiron is the wounded warrior. So this is where we hold our, in Aries, where we hold our wound, our I am wounds. So where we may have held ourselves back for the sake of others. This Venus trining it is bringing this love and compassion and opportunities for healing this wound, which again, I've talked about how this is beautiful because Jupiter is in a square, also providing opportunity to it, which is really key as well, because we're just going to dive into this. Jupiter is the ruler of this new moon. Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, as well as the traditional ruler of Pisces, which, this new moon is making a big square to these planets. So yeah, the fact that both of the benefic planets, Venus and Jupiter, are interacting, Venus in a trine and Jupiter in a square, are both providing so much love, so much compassion, so much healing energy, so much opportunities for growth and abundance in healing this I am wound, which is so beautiful that we are getting such magnificent opportunities for healing this before we move in to our new roles, our new, when Saturn and Neptune come here and are conjunct, that is an extremely rare event. It is it's going to be at 0 degrees. We're going to be talking a lot about it, but it is really the turning point of humanity, and that's part of the reason why this is kind of setting us up for that turning point in February, because it's super, super, super rare, and it really is going to be a turning point for the world in how we operate everything moving forward. And so we're being given this opportunities to heal our individual wounds of not being of holding ourselves down for the sake of others, of not being true to who we are, and as we are all individually going through this healing process, I think we all are really feeling that pull, like, I want to be seen and loved for all that I am. I want my voice to be heard. I want, I want to be seen, and I deserve to be seen. I am enough just because I am here. That is what we are healing with this wound. Like, you are enough just because you exist. That's it. Like, your existence is a gift to this world, and that is something that I think we are all healing, that we are all starting to learn. It's this belief system paradigm shift. It's this connection, especially with the North Node, to the oneness, that we are all connected, we are all love, we are all loved, and we are really being given the opportunity to heal this as individuals and as a collective. And so maybe this is showing up for you in some big way. Maybe these are just subtle shifts that you're feeling internally, especially as Jupiter is retrograde in Cancer, and Jupiter in Cancer is like our emotional safety net, our emotional arena. So these could be just internal shifts, or they could be shifts that are manifesting for you in your physical existence as well. But either way, it's a new beginning and a new opportunity for growth and healing. Also, with it being Jupiter retrograde in Cancer, this is or just being Jupiter retrograde overall, right? Jupiter retrograde can bring back previous opportunities for us to look at that we may have missed. So overall, I think, this is maybe just an internal thing where we have the opportunity to look at how we've kept ourselves small before, what we could have done better, so that when opportunities do come back around, we know how to, do the things that are right for us while maintaining boundaries and compassion and love for those around us that may not agree, may not see the opportunity the same way we do. And maybe we would have kept ourselves small before, but now that we're learning and growing and having this internal reflection, we won't do that. The other thing that I think is really beautiful is Jupiter is, the ruler of Sagittarius and Pisces. Jupiter represents wisdom along with Sagittarius. And with it being retrograde, I really feel like this is giving another nod to really tapping into our ancient wisdom, combined with the fact that the Cancer energy is tied to our emotional world, our like mothering and nurturing and things like that, our home, as well as our ancestry. So really, I'm really deeply, deeply feeling that this new moon is calling us to tap into that ancient wisdom. The other reason why I feel this as well is because there is the last aspect that this is making is these two in conjunctions to Jupiter. It's not showing the line here because it's a little bit out of orb. It's a little bit wider of an orb at 6 degrees. So it's not exactly a yod. A yod would need this to be more of an exact sextile between these two, but it is a wider sextile, right? And as Jupiter moves backwards and Uranus moves forward, this will end up being a yod. But what do yods do? Number one, it's called the finger of God. That's the other nickname for this formation. But wherever it points is like a focal point of where we should be focusing our energy. And so it is pointing back to this new moon energy of, new beginnings, new things coming online. But with all this energy of Sagittarius being, wisdom keepers, Jupiter being wisdom, Cancer being ancestry and things like this, I think that the overall energy of this new moon is telling us to tap into collectively the ancient wisdom that we have forgotten about or that has been hidden, right? How many ancient texts are hidden in libraries that we aren't allowed to see that are now finally, currently or just within the last couple of years being uncovered and coming to light? Like, these are the things that we need to see and tap into, and this is really pointing to us that we need to do that. The only other thing I'll say about this in conjunction to both Uranus retrograde in Taurus as well as to Jupiter, squares are challenge points, trines and sextiles are like energy working together. Opposition requires balance. Inconjunctions are kind of like an energy of frustration, an energy of like, well, I don't understand. Like, it's just like a really kind of awkward type energy. And so with this Jupiter and, potentially tapping into ancient wisdom, into ancestry, things like that, or looking at the ways that we may have missed opportunities from the past, or just figuring out what our emotional safety landscape is, things like that. It might feel a little bit uncomfortable. It might be a little bit paradigm shifting. It might be things like that, as well as this Uranus and Taurus. Uranus is the planet of sudden insights, sudden like downloads of information, right? So these things might come to us suddenly. Taurus is, an earth sign, so it is things in our physical reality. So this is also the continued shakeup of our financial system, of our values, of our resources, and even looking, potentially tapping in with this energy into the ancient wisdom of how we used to go about doing those things, right? When things weren't genetically modified, when before, how did things work before we had the Federal Reserve, and getting the shakeups, having the hindsight to look at how things worked in the past and how can we move that forward, right? So this is all this energy. I'm getting goosebumps, tapping into the ancient wisdom and how can we bring that ancient wisdom forward with us into the future, because although Sagittarius is wisdom, it is also that very forward thinking. How can we take this and move forward forward and expand our horizons, right? So it is a combination of all of those things, but with these in conjunctions, it might feel a little bit uncomfortable because it might be things that we didn't know that are suddenly coming to our awareness that we have to now figure out how to integrate into our new paradigm and worldview and things like that. Okay, so a couple other really big things about this particular new moon is it is at the galactic center of our universe. So conjunct the galactic center. So the galactic center, it's the spot that lies at the center of our Milky Way galaxy and is a gigantic black hole as big as 4 million suns, which sucks all matter into it. It holds immense power based on the polarized forces of creation, which draw in and push out energy, holding the creation of our galaxy in place and evolving it. Its power includes distorting space and time as we know it here, so it can have a distorting effect on our own energies. And I'm reading from a couple different sites here to give you an idea of how big and how potent this is, considering all of the other things that are going on with this new moon. So it says these energies are a lot to wrangle and hold extraordinary potentials for light, which is all that's real, although we play with shadow along the way to fully realizing our true light nature. And if you have planets or points around, so the galactic center of our universe is around 26 or 27 degrees of Sagittarius. So if you have any planets or points around this point or the opposite point in Gemini, then you are likely to be drawn into more mystical leanings. And they say wherever the galactic center falls in your natal chart, will represent the area of your life where you're likely to undergo metaphysical transformations or cosmic shifts. So it signifies the area or specific point where energies may be bestowing spiritual insights, guiding you towards your true soul purpose. So that is kind of happening for us all right now. And then it says, that spiritually the galactic center is like a celestial lighthouse emitting high frequency light upon us that influences our evolution both on a collective and a personal level. And many astrologers and mystics believe that this center represents a cosmic gateway to spiritual wisdom, divine truth, and expansive consciousness. I just realized that a lot of what I recorded after that last comment did not get recorded. So I'm having to redo the last part of what I did yesterday. Hopefully I remember all the things I said because it was just coming to me so beautifully. But anyway, so I think this new moon being conjunct the galactic center is quite amazing, and gives yet another nod to the fact that, perhaps this is a new moon bringing us all sorts of ancient wisdom, or new wisdom, things like that. The other thing that is really, really fascinating and I think a huge deal is 3i Atlas. And that's the conversation that I didn't record yesterday. 3i Atlas is making its closest, it's traveling the closest to Earth today. So we should be able to see it. If you had gone out early this morning, you may have seen it. I don't know where its trajectory will be by tomorrow morning. If tomorrow morning, I think you might still be able to see it. I think it probably is still close enough to the sun. It's just the closest it's going to be today, exact on this new moon, which is mind-blowing in and of itself. And I don't think that that's a coincidence, right? I think that is purposeful in some manner. I don't see synchronicities and coincidences as that. I see them as divine order, trying to get our attention to things. And so the fact that 3i Atlas is traveling the closest to the Earth at the time of this new moon that is conjunct with the Galactic Center, and the Galactic Center, or very near, is where 3i Atlas basically emerged from. It when we first noticed 3i Atlas, it was in the sign of Sagittarius. So that is fascinating. The other fascinating thing that I learned about 3i Atlas is that its tail, it's got not just a tail, but also like a forward momentum thing, is pointing straight back to where it came from. So I really feel like it is bringing us like a higher consciousness, and it's coming from Sagittarius. It's coming from the sign that represents wisdom and higher knowledge, and I feel like this 3i Atlas is here to raise our consciousness, right? Everything is energy, everything is vibration, everything is consciousness. And I believe that 3i Atlas, I don't believe in the fear-mongering of, it's aliens, or even if it is aliens, like it's higher consciousness. And with the signature of this new moon bringing in love and everything like that, with it being conjunct Venus, like I just feel like this 3i Atlas is bringing us a consciousness, a higher consciousness of love, and that it's helping us work with all these things, work with healing our I am wound, all of those things. And part of the reason why I feel like it's helping with that is because where 3i Atlas is in the sky right now is in the or just outside, like it's kind of sitting at the foot of Leo, of the constellation of Leo. And what is Leo? Leo is all about heart, right? Leo represents our heart and our courage and our like passions and desires and our inner child, and living according to our joy, right? The heart of Leo wants to connect with that joyful energy, that energy that children carry, that's just awe. They live in this world of awe and wonder and joy. They, like, kids just want to have fun. They are in touch with their joy. And I think that's a lot of what a lot of this messaging is, as a culture, as a society, we've been held down, we've been controlled, we've been deceived, we've, and with this Chiron wound, we've held ourselves back for the sake of others for whatever reasons. There's so many reasons that we could have held ourselves back for the sake of others, whether that's caring too much what people think, or people telling us that we can't, or, whatever reasons we've kept ourselves small. I think that that's no coincidence that 3i Atlas is flying by, that originated from Sagittarius to bring us wisdom, is potentially going back home there. But during this, the synchronicity of it being in Leo, connecting us to our joy, connecting us to our passions, and potentially helping us change the dynamic of these systems that have been here to keep us down, whether that's financial systems or the food system being taken over or whatever. But like reconnecting with our heart, reconnecting with our joy, reconnecting with our passion. And because when we are living the thing that we are truly passionate about, when we are in those joyful moments where we are fully engaged with what we're doing, whether it's, painting or playing music or studying. For me, I love to study. I love to learn. I love to do things like this. Like, whatever those things are where we lose all sense of time, that is when we are at our truest potential and are in the most receptive state to communicate with higher realms, higher beings, our higher self, to connect to God, to divine source, all of those things, when we are living more in our heart, and filled with love and living our passion, living with what we came here to do, right? Our passion is our true north, right? It's what we're here to experience. Like, if we all lived more in our joy, this would be a more joyful place. And those are where our gifts lie. Those are where our gifts to the world lie, is in our joy. And I think that Three-Eye Atlas is helping us really tap into that by kind of calling our energies subconsciously or whatever to that. Like, what our joy is where we are meant to shine. And, I think that's a big part of what we're being called to tear down with regards to our financial systems. And what Uranus is here shaking up is, we we go to our job and we don't like it. And kind of, I was alluding to it before, like we think with this Mars and Capricorn, like we've been taught that we have to work hard, right? And it's not necessarily that we have to work hard at things that we don't like. We should work hard at the things that we love and have the courage to do so, because that is what our true gifts to the world and ourselves are, is living in that true purpose. And to kind of restructure our belief systems about the financial world, right? Like, we can live in our passion and still have abundance. So I think that's one of the messages that's coming through. But it's mind blowing to me that there's that there's the connection to Sagittarius. It's closest to us, that's where it originated. It's closest to us on the new moon in Sagittarius, bringing us new information. Literally, new moons are new blessings, new beginnings. The other thing that's fascinating about Three-Eye Atlas is it contains all the building blocks for life. It's very carbon-based, as it has been moving through our solar system. It's not only has its colors been changing, apparently it's like magnetic field and like atmosphere or whatever been changing, which is fascinating. And apparently all the debris and stuff that's coming off of it, there's theories that comets or things that do carry building blocks of life can seed places with life, whatever life form, whatever that means. And apparently Earth is going to be flying through the debris of through the debris of what Three-Eye Atlas is leaving around February or March, which is when these two, Neptune and Saturn, are going to be in Aries. And I think that's about the time or shortly after Saturn and Neptune are going to be conjunct, which is a huge, huge deal. And if there's that synchronicity and coincidence too, like, I really feel like this new moon and Three-Eye Atlas is seeding maybe not new life forms, but new conscious patterns. I just don't think that we are going to be the same as a society again. It's bringing up ancient wisdom. It's bringing back, honestly, what I'm feeling is the teachings that that Jesus was trying to really leave us with that may or may not have been distorted along the way. Kind of like it kind of has this I would say second coming, but I don't know, I don't want to sound crazy, but it is very much a feeling. This new moon and all the synchronicities with it is very much a feeling of us finally waking up and us finally learning how to live from a place of love instead of fear, and to have this connection, this sovereign connection to our higher selves, to source, to God, to whatever you want to call it. I really feel like this is the seeding point for making that change and making it a reality, and making it so there's no government systems, no princes or principalities that can hold us down and keep us disconnected from knowing who we truly are. I feel like this is the seeding point of turning the page and discovering who we really are, where we really came from. And I think not that we are necessarily connected to wherever 3i Atlas came from, but perhaps we are. And regardless, I feel like it is helping to uplevel our consciousness and bring us the information that we need to make this change. I think this is one of many points that there's a before this point and an after this point. And I may sound crazy, and that's fine, but that is kind of how I am seeing it. And I really feel like when I recorded this earlier, I said this all better, so I apologize that I screwed up. But it's exciting. I can't personally get on board with it being scary in any type of way. I am just living in this and basking in this gratitude of choosing to incarnate at this particular point in time and play a part in it. And that to me is so exciting. And I feel like I've always felt like I was meant for something big. And I feel like taking a part in this and kind of, helping lead the way in astrology and understanding and getting out of victim mentality and kind of making this shift into this better way of believing and seeing the world, and seeing how we've been deceived and had truth hidden from us, and being alive during the time when some of these truths are coming to light is just amazing. And I'm so happy to be here, and I hope you are feeling the same way. The other thing that I forgot to mention is, all this energy is in Sagittarius. I'm going to put the chart back on the screen really quick. So the other thing that I forgot to mention, we have all this energy in Sagittarius here. Well, I forgot to talk about Mercury, just because it isn't conjunct. So at the moment that I was initially filming this, I didn't see the relevance necessarily to bring it up, but it is a major player in this new moon because Mercury is in a square to both the South Node and North Node, just calling us to be engaged in the activation of our North Node and South Node. And there might be some tension there as we learn some new information about what we need to let go, what we need to really hold on to. And, it's basically calling us to hold on to our faith. Like, we might be getting new information or something that might rock our worlds or something like that, but we need to hold on to our faith and be willing to let go of anything that we need to let go of, about needing to know all the details all at once in order to believe, right? So that is something important too. Like this new moon, along with the last full moon that we have signatures of this fated event. So I feel like this information that's coming in may be a little bit jarring, but it is fated and for our highest and best good. Now we will just briefly get into how this is affecting each rising sign. And as always, I like to recommend listening for your rising sign first, as that indicates where things in life are actually going to show up for you. Sun sign will be more like career focused. Moon sign will be more emotional or home focused. So it's a good idea to listen to all three, but if you only have time or can make sense of listening to one at a time, I would listen to your rising sign. Okay, so Sagittarius, this is happening for you in your first house. This is all about you and your identity. And so considering all of this new opportunity, this new energy is going on for you in your first house, this is really an opportunity to reinvent yourself and become more aware of who you are and where you're going in the future, and how you're going to play a part in it. And you are going to play a big part because you are Sagittarius, and you may be feeling this challenge of growth, between yourself and your identity and your home, your ancestry, things like that. And then you're getting a lot of healing opportunity in your house of creativity, love, romance, children. So that is exciting. Things are continuing to shift and rock and roll for you in your sixth house of daily habits, routine, health, work, things like that. And then this 3-eye atlas is flying nearest by your ninth house, which would be, this spiritual wisdom, this looking forward, this higher knowledge. So I really think that you yourself are going to be having some major shifts, major new opportunities coming really from anywhere. But it could also be, coming from Jupiter, since it is the ruler, which would be in your 8th house of like shared resources, intimacy, transformation. Like you might be going through a deep transformation right now, changing a lot of your belief systems, changing, just going into your own dark shadows. Like there could be some opportunities for transforming, going into it, bringing light into your own personal darkness so that you can then help hold the space for other people as well. But just transforming yourself and bringing yourself love, compassion, and all of those things. That's really beautiful. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising. This is happening for you in your 12th house of the unseen, the hidden realms, the rest and rejuvenation. But it is the house of like our connection, our spiritual connection to the all that is, to it's the house that kind of has no boundaries between this world and whatever else is out there, right? So you could be getting a lot of downloads, a lot of clearing out of old subconscious programming, things like that. It can be a really beautiful time to get that knowledge. And then the square is kind of between this your subconscious mind and your more active mind of the 3rd house. The 3rd house is where and how we think and communicate. It is our local community, things like that, how we engage in social media, how we communicate with other people, how we listen. So there could be a lot of, and perhaps it might be uncomfortable because it might be something that you're not used to, but perhaps like some clear audience is coming online for you or something like that, or just clear knowing. I think that those types of things may be coming up for you, as well as new opportunities for, like I said, clearing out the cobwebs of subconscious patterning that is no longer serving you. And again, 12th house and 3rd house combo with it being communication. This could be some psychic abilities coming online for you as well. Okay, Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising. This is happening for you, this new moon, in your 11th house. So this could be an upgrade or new opportunities in friendships, in groups that you belong to. This can also be new opportunities. This can be like the financial rewards that we receive from the 10th house. So this can be a money house. There could be new opportunities for you, or new just the rewards of the work that you've put in could start to manifest with this, as well as like if you are to have an online business or something like that and be engaged with the larger community, this could be new opportunities for that as well. So that is exciting. The tension that you may feel with this new moon would be over here to your 2nd house of values, money, your own personal finances and resources. And so there might be some tension here as this growth happens, tearing down old belief systems about money, old structures about money, and building up new ones. And so that is very exciting, as well as being more, having your friendships and the groups that you do belong to and how you engage with society at large could be undergoing some changes to be more aligned with the values of who you are now as well.
Okay. And now for Pisces, sun, moon, and rising.
That was my little daughter announcing Pisces. She wanted to be a part of the video, and I told her she could. So Pisces, sun, moon, and rising. This is happening for you in your 10th house of career and public reputation. So these new opportunities could be coming in for you there. These new opportunities, this new maybe awareness of your higher purpose or things like that may be coming online. Any tension that you might be feeling with this could potentially be happening between your house, your 10th house of career and reputation, and the 1st house of you and your self-identity. So you might be having this really internal or external tension regarding who you are, how you're showing up in the world, what you're doing for work, and does it align? And this is a chance to realign with something that fits you better. So this is a really beautiful opportunity for you in that. All right, Aries, sun, moon, and rising. This is happening for you guys in your 9th house of higher education, higher knowledge, belief systems. There's my little Piper. So this could be where you have new opportunities, could be going through a lot of paradigm shifting. Just try to roll with it as much as you can. Any tension that you may be feeling that's kind of catapulting will be between your 9th house and your 12th house of those subconscious patterns and beliefs that govern your life that are coming into your awareness, as well as with these two being engaged with, I feel like there could be a lot of like psychic abilities perhaps coming online for you, or like more inner knowingness about truths. I love you too. Truths that you are seeking. It could just be like coming to you, so go with that as well. This is an exciting time for those things, or you might be getting new opportunities to study with a teacher or be the teacher, or continue or finish higher education, or to travel or things like that. You could be getting new opportunities there that are then going to have an impact on this shift that you're going through in your 12th house and have been going through for a while. Okay, so Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. This is happening for you in your 8th house of shared resources, intimacy, transformation, shadow work. So you could be getting a lot of opportunity to do some deep shadow work, some clearing, some bringing this light that's coming into your own darkness to heal it and to transform it into something better and higher for you. Could be getting new opportunities and new levels of intimacy and how to engage with intimacy, or resources, how to share your financial or any other resources. This is also, in intimacy, not only emotional intimacy, but physical intimacy. So maybe you're getting some new opportunities for healing and growth in that area as well. And if you're feeling any tension here, it would be between this 8th house of shared resources and all the stuff we just mentioned, and the 11th house of friendships, groups, how you show up in the greater community. So if you are somebody that is engaged in online community such as YouTube or anything like that, this could be the work that you're doing there that you're involved in. There could be some tension here, but it is guiding you towards your highest and best growth possible. So just keep that in mind as you are moving through this delightful energy. All right, Gemini, sun, moon, and rising. This is happening for you in your 7th house of relationships and partnerships. So this is like your romantic partnerships, best friends, and like business partnerships, or potentially open enemies as well. So think ex-partners of any kind, ex-business partners, ex-romantic partners, ex-friends. All those things fall under this 7th house, but there are new opportunities, new things coming online, maybe new awareness, new cosmic insights, or just new opportunities for growth, or new people coming in for you in this sector of your life. And there may be some tension felt with the square between your 7th house of relationships and 10th house of career. So it could be that there are either, a tension within your relationship between these two that leads you to know how you need to move forward, particularly in your career or in this area, or that there are new business partnerships that are going to be showing up for you that are going to be more aligned with who you are. So that is exciting as well. Cancer, sun, moon, and rising. This is happening for you in your 6th house of daily habits, health, routine, work, also service to others. This is pets as well. Maybe there's a new pet that is going to be showing up in your life that is going to be life-changing in some way or another, or just you're embarking on a new health journey, new journey with work, just organizing how you structure your day in a more spiritually aligned way. That could be coming in for you. And any tension that you're feeling might be related to your 9th house of belief systems, teachers, higher education, higher wisdom, higher knowledge, foreign travel, things like that could be interacting with this house of your daily habits, routines. Only you know how this is interacting and showing up for you. But it is, whatever is showing up is meant for your highest and best good and highest and best growth. So roll with it, appreciate it, and enjoy. Comment below with how this manifests. Leo, sun, moon, and rising. This is happening for you in your 5th house of joy, creativity, romance, children, So this is being given new beginnings, new opportunities for spiritual growth, spiritual alignment, like light really coming into to this area of your life. Perhaps a lot of inner child healing, finding who you really are, what your passions really are, and aligning with them. That is something overall that this time in existence is calling for us to do, is to become aware of who we are and what brings us joy, what really lights us up, and connect with it. So that is this house, as well as, like I said, romance and children and things like that. You may be feeling some tension between this house and your 8th house of shared resources and intimacy. 8th house and transformation. 8th house is where we go into our own shadows and do our shadow work, bring light to that area, really transform ourselves, and in transforming ourselves and holding space for ourselves, we're then more able to hold space for other people as well, and share ourselves with other people. And so this may be a tension you feel between these two areas of really getting to know yourself more intimately through this shadow work. I feel like could be a lot of this, and then also just being willing to share this growth with those closest to you in an intimate way as well. So that is really exciting. It might feel uncomfortable, hence the square, but it is meant for your highest and best good. So enjoy this time of self-discovery and self-growth. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising. This is happening for you in your 4th house of home and family and ancestry. So there could be a lot of new opportunities coming here for you in your home, whether that is physically a new home or renovating your current home, or just some maybe just decorating a space to make it more homey, more cozy. Like maybe you have developed like a you corner or something where you feel emotionally safe, emotionally grounded, like just finding that perfect spot for you. That could be this, or doing a lot of ancestral healing, a lot of maybe some new information is coming to you regarding your ancestry, or just new opportunities here regarding your home and family and where you come from. And but there could be some tension here between this part of your life and your 7th house of relationships. This is, whatever this tension is meant to help you grow. Maybe it's somebody close to you that's bringing you information or bringing you opportunities. I'm not sure, but it is meant, whatever is going on here is meant to catapult you forward and help you grow in these areas. And so just comment below with how this might be manifesting for you, how you're feeling this energy interplay between your home and family and your significant other or best friends or business partners or anything like that. But go with it. It is meant to bring you to your highest and best. All right, Libra, sun, moon, and rising. This is happening for you in your 3rd house of communication, learning, how we think, how we communicate, how we process information, potentially social media, how we engage with social media, because that's how we communicate a lot of times right now. This is also your local community. Maybe you have opportunities coming up in regards to your local community. This is also the house of like siblings and your neighborhood and extended family. So perhaps there's opportunities and new growth and abundance coming to you there. That might potentially have some friction between that area of your life and your 6th house of daily habits, routines, health, wellness, and work as well. So maybe there's some, growth in communication or opportunities, like I said, in your community or with any of these people, that, or just how you communicate in general, could be at odds somehow with your daily routine in some way, shape, or form, whether that's with your health, with your work, with just even simply how you feed yourself, things like that. But it is meant to bring it to your awareness, to bring these new things, to take you to the highest and next version of yourself. So roll with it, whatever the tension might be. It's there to help you grow. All right, Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising. This is happening for you in your second house of finances, value, resources. So there could be new opportunities for you coming here in this area of your life. So potentially a new job or new resources, new money somehow. Or just simply an upgrade in your value system and how you value yourself, right? This could be more of an internal new opportunity, new growth for you as well. And in that, and changing your value and realizing your value, realizing that you are enough just as you are, that little shift is not so little and could therefore in and of itself bring you more financial abundance, or abundance of whatever kind. Abundance is not just financial abundance, but the more you are at home with who you are, the more you realize your own worth, which is second house themes, the more money will be attracted to you, the more resources that you need will be attracted to you and will come into you. So this could be an internal shift, or this could be external things manifesting. You may feel some tension here between that house and your fifth house of joy, creativity, romance, children. So there could be some sort of tension there, but it is meant for you to know how to move forward. So perhaps this shift is an internal one, and you're finally realizing how important it is to connect to your joy and make that your top priority, and that might feel uncomfortable. That could be all that this square is, right? Or it could manifest in a bunch of different ways, but it is bringing you to your highest and best version of yourself. So just roll with what the challenges are and work through them and appreciate them. And comment below with how this is manifesting for you. So that is pretty much it for this Sagittarius new moon. This is a big moon. This is truly a turning point in the collective consciousness, in our individual consciousness. And if we allow it to, this is going to be raising the vibration of the entire planet. And we are living through such exciting times, and I hope you feel the energy as exciting as I do. Until next time, thank you for joining. If you could hit the like, comment, subscribe in any way, it really does help the channel grow. And like I said, I look forward to seeing you back here.